Hello friends, welcome back to EduTap. In this session, we'll be discussing the 10 most important MCQs of the economy. So friends, शुरू करने से पहले मैं फिर से दोहराता हूँ बात. See, I might not be speaking the language of Hindi, but focus on the question that I am presenting you, not on my language, because the content that I am providing you will be helpful for you in the upcoming examination of HPAS, friends. So after doing quite a thorough study of previous year question paper, I have framed questions along those lines which will be beneficial for you in the upcoming examination, friends. I hope that is very much clear, and I repeat again, try participating in the session like when I am giving any question, try thinking upon, make up your mind regarding the any option as answer, then cross check yourself. So that would be more beneficial for you, or you can take away through that participation route, you can take away greater content from this particular session. So friends, now let us move on to the first question. So the first question that is from the Union Budget 2022-23. पहला क्वेश्चन है, which of the following schemes has been announced in the Union Budget 2022-23 for the development of the northeastern region? For the development of the northeastern region, and the options are, friends, PM Development Initiative for Northeast, that is also known as PM Divine, PM Gati Shakti Master Plan, PM's Detailed Infrastructure Plan for Northeast, and PM's Detailed Initiative for Northeast. Take your time, then we'll get to the answer. I assume everyone must have thought over this particular question. Friends, the right answer here is option A, that is PM Development Initiative for Northeast, PM Divine. Let us look at the information. A new scheme, Prime Minister Development Initiative for Northeast, known as PM Divine, has been announced in the budget by Union Finance Minister, that is Nirmala Sitharaman. Then it will be implemented through the Northeastern Council. The initial allocation of 1500 crore will be made for the new scheme. It will fund infrastructure in the spirit of PM Gati Shakti. Again, a very important scheme which is in alignment with National Infrastructure Pipeline, friends. That is, the PM Gati Shakti is focusing on developing the infrastructure which can move people as well as goods quicker. So it will fund, the PM Divine will fund infrastructure and social development projects based on the felt needs of the Northeast. So friends, this is a very important initiative for the development of Northeastern region. So kindly remember this. Now let us move on to the next question. The second question reads this way. What is the name of the program to enhance the development of the villages on the northern border of India? So, and the options are, again the question is taken from the budget. Sashakt Villages Program, Atmanirbhar Villages Program, Special Villages Program, Vibrant Villages Program, friends. Take your time, then make up your mind regarding any answer, any option you think as the answer. And friends, the right answer here in this particular question is option D, Vibrant Villages Program. So let us look at the detailed piece of information. See, in the Union Budget 2022 that was presented on the 1st Feb 2022, Finance Minister proposed to cover villages on the northern border under the Vibrant Villages Program. This is a very important reason that she has stated. You must remember this. She stated that the border villages with a sparse population, that is limited population, limited connectivity and infrastructure, often get left out from the developmental gains. Hence, friends, this is a very important initiative to cover all the people who are lying along the region of northern borders. Such villages on the northern border will be covered under the new Vibrant Villages Program. The program will include, so what all happens within that particular program, where the specific fund is devoted towards this Vibrant Villages Program. So under that program, the construction of village infrastructure, housing, tourist centers, road connectivity, provisioning of decentralized renewable energy, direct to home access for Doordarshan and education channels, and support for livelihood generation. So this will help them uplift or improve their standard of living within those border regions. So this is a very important scheme, that is Vibrant Villages Program, friends. Now let us move on to the third question. What is the name of the master plan for expressways which will be formulated in 2022-23 to facilitate faster movement of people and goods? I have just now explained you few slides ago. So what is the name of the master plan for expressways which will be formulated in 2020 to 23 to facilitate faster movement of people and goods? And the options are PM Gatiman Expressway, PM Shakti Express, PM Gati Shakti, PM Super Shakti. Friends, and the यहाँ पे सही जवाब है PM Gati Shakti. Let us try to understand more regarding that. See, PM Gati Shakti master plan for expressways. There is a difference between highways and expressways. I think you must have seen the Delhi Yamuna expressways where there are 8-lane roads. So that is a intensely smooth expressway where there will be a faster movement of people as well as the goods carrying the freight carried by the trucks and the other vehicles. So PM Gati Shakti master plan for expressways will be formulated in 2020 to 23 to facilitate faster movement of people and goods. The national highway network will be expanded by 25,000 km in 2022. See, one more question can be framed along these lines. So how much what is the length of the kilometer that or the national highways that would be expanded within the PM Gati Shakti in 2023? That the answer to that particular question would be 25,000 km. And apart from that, this will provide for efficient movement of goods through different modes, reducing logistic cost, assisting just-in-time inventory management, and in eliminating tedious documentation. So apart from this, see, you might have come across the while passing through the tolls. Earlier, we used to all the passengers used to pay out the money. Now, with the introduction of FASTag, there is no need for the individual passengers to stop and pay. The what do you say? The travel travel is very smooth. Hence, all these such facilities, advanced technologies would be introduced within this PM Gati Shakti, where the logistics cost would be cut down and as well as the movement of the people will become more faster and quicker. Under the scheme, the open source mobility stack, this is nothing much to explain, friends, and let us understand more about PM Gati Shakti. So, on India's 75th Independence Day, the Prime Minister announced that the center will launch PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. The Government of India has launched the ambitious Gati Shakti scheme or National Master Plan for multimodal connectivity. So, what exactly do we mean by multimodal? Multimodal is it comprises of rail, road, air traffic connectivity, waterways. So it has incorporated all the elements of transportation and connectivity. So it has that means the multimodal connectivity, the aim of the coordinated planning and connecting the coming up with the infrastructure project to bring the logistic cost down. It is an 100 lakh crore. Again, one more question might be framed. What is the fund that has been allocated to PM Gati Shakti? So this is 100 lakh crore for developing holistic infrastructure. This is in alignment with National Infrastructure Pipeline, which was unveiled in the year friend 2019. So PM Gati Shakti, the entire idea behind launching this particular scheme is to quicken the process of the implementation of the National Infrastructure Pipeline. So that is with regard to the PM Gati Shakti, friends. Now let us move on to the next question. Fourth question. Again, a very interesting question. This type of question might be asked. This pertains to national and international bodies. National and international bodies. So let us go through the question now. In the context of which of the following do you sometimes find the news terms amber box, blue box and green box in the news? So friends, which of the following organization is associated with these three terms, that is amber box, blue box and green box? And the options given are WTO affairs, SAARC affairs, UNFCCC affairs, India EU negotiations on free trade agreement. So take your time. Amber box, blue box and green box. And the right answer here is option A, that is World Trade Organization. We'll understand what exactly are these terms. See, WTO, which was formed in 1995, that is it started functioning since 1995. Prior to World Trade Organization, the organization which existed was General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. So what is the main purpose of WTO? See, it wants to smoothen the flow of trade across the globe. It wants to bring about free and fair trade across the international community. So in this context, that is in WTO terminology, suppose take consider example of USA. USA is producing the all the farmers in USA are producing wheat. Now similar is the case in India. Similar is the case in India. So Indian farmers are also producing wheat, let us say. So they are able to produce or sell 10 rupees 1 kg at 1 kg of wheat 1 kg of wheat at 10 rupees 10 per kg. And similarly, USA the farmers are able to produce wheat at 12 rupees per kg. Now what does the USA government does is it subsidizes the farmers, that is it gives free of cost or maybe with subsidized prices the fertilizers, the seeds, everything. So after all that is provided by the USA government, now the final cost that has been final cost of the wheat that has been produced by farmer falls to rupees 8 per kg. Now what happens if the Indian farmers export the wheat at rupees 10 per kg? Now with the inclusion of all the import duties in USA, the price will be rising. But let us now forget that. Suppose the Indian farmers export it to USA, then no one would be buying the Indian products that is at 10 rupees per kg. Rather they would buy the USA wheat at rupees 8 per kg. Here there is a distortion of trade because USA government has subsidized the farmers. So friends, in this context of agricultural agreements, agreements that took place at WTO, it was decided that all such subsidies have to be cut down in order to ensure free and fair trade. So in WTO terminologies, domestic subsidies, that the subsidies that are provided by the Indian government, such as MSP, all the fertilizer subsidy. So all such subsidies in agriculture are identified by boxes, namely green, amber and blue box. So what exactly are these three types of subsidies? Let us try to understand. All the domestic support measures that distort production and trade fall into amber box. Suppose now USA claims that the MSP support that has been provided by Indian government since past 6-7 decades is a trade distorting measure, because the governments the farmers are assured of MSP, they will be producing huge amount of wheat and rice, and that will lead to higher exports of the one second that will lead to higher exports of wheat and rice. So in simple terms, you can understand that any support or domestic support measure which intends to distort the trade falls under amber box. And what is blue box? Opposite of amber box is green box. It does not distort trade, or at most cause minimal distortion. The examples of such is research and development. Suppose now all the agricultural institutes such as Indian Council of Agricultural Research and Institute, it is carrying out research that how do we improve the efficiency of seeds. So all that is research and development. That is not a trade distorting measure, friends. So the governments of the country can continue with the green box, but there is a particular limit upon which the countries cannot exceed the amber box. And in between lies the blue box. It is nothing but amber box with condition. Amber box with condition. Let me explain. Amber box with conditions. So it refers to category of domestic support or subsidies under the WTO's agreement on agriculture. So this much information is more than enough for the upcoming examination, friends. Just remember that there are three type of subsidies provided allowed within the agriculture agreement within the WTO. Then amber box is trade distorting measure, they have to be cut down. Green box is non-trade distorting measure. Blue box is amber box with conditions. Now friends, let us move on to the next question, that is fifth question. The first iron and steel plant was set up in India at which place? Bhilai, Chhattisgarh, Jamshedpur, Kolkata. Take your time, then we will discuss the answer. Friends, the right answer here is Jamshedpur. Let us look at it. The first iron and steel plant was set up in India at Jamshedpur, and the company was Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited. You might have come across the name TISCO, which stands for Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, was the very first and the very first iron and steel company industry in India. TISCO had played a major role in producing equipments during the First World War itself. It is located in Jamshedpur in Jharkhand. The industry is located on the banks of Subarnarekha and Kharkai River. So even this can be formed as a question. So the first industry was located along the lines on the banks of which river? It is Subarnarekha and Kharkai. So friends, I have a question for you. That is, tell me Subarnarekha is the tributary of which river? You can type in the comment section below and let me know the answer. And these rivers helps in the industrial uses and what waste treatment for the industry. So this is all with respect to this question. Now let us move to the next question. When were the railways introduced in India, friends? Options are 1830, 1860, 1853, 1900. And the right answer here is, friend, 1853. The history of Indian Railways dates back to over 160 years. On 16th April 1853, the first passenger train ran between Bombay and Thane, a distance of 34 kilometers. So there is one more additional piece of information. It was operated by three locomotives, namely Sahib, Sultan and Sindh, and had 13 carriages. So you can remember this. Just remember this information that the first railway was introduced in the year and it was between Bombay and Thane. Sometimes for your additional information, a distance of 34 kilometers was traveled by that particular train. This is a very interesting question, friends. Who coined the term Washington census? So these type of questions have been asked, and there are chances that they will be asked in the upcoming examination as well. And the options are John Williamson, Stephen Williamson, John Smith, John Keynes. The right answer here is, friend, John Williamson. Very important, try remembering it. We'll discuss what exactly are Washington consensus. See, prior to LPG reforms that were introduced in the year 1991 in India, Indian economy was hugely controlled by this government. That is, even if you had to open up a firm, you had to get so many licenses, permission only, and that too you can open industry in specific sectors. So all that economy, entire economy was controlled by the government. But it was decided in the Washington consensus that this control by the governments, respective governments, have to be freed, and they all have to be dictated by the market condition, that is left to market forces. See, the term was coined by British economist John Williamson in 1989. It is, there are 10 certain principles within Washington consensus, such as it says that you have to reduce the control of the government, let the market determine what should be the supply and demand. Even the loans provided by the banks, at what interest rate was decided by the government prior to 1991, friends. Now with the introduction of LPG reforms in 1991, everything is changed. Now it is entirely determined by market forces. So it recommends, it is a set of 10 principles that advocates free trade, floating exchange rate, free markets and macroeconomic stability. Apart from that, it recommended structural reforms such as the government controlled economy to market controlled, or market left to the forces of market, that increases the role of market forces in exchange for immediate financial help. And it has been supported by institutions such as IMF and World Bank. IMF and World Bank, friends. So this is a very important question. Now let us move on to the next question. The lower Gangetic Plain is characterized by the humid climate with high temperature. Humid climate with high temperature throughout the year. So which type of crops are suitable for such climate? Options are paddy and cotton, wheat and jute, paddy and jute, wheat and cotton. Take your time, think. Always try thinking logically. See, even if you do not know the answer, which are the crops which need humid climate and high temperature throughout the year? And the lower Gangetic Plain also emphasizes that there is a huge amount of water that has been flowing through that particular region. Friends, the right answer here is paddy and jute. See, let me explain you. Paddy and jute both are water guzzling crops. That is, they consume a huge amount of water for their growth, and apart from that they need humid climate and high temperature, hence these are grown in that particular region. If you look at this, the low and the deltaic plains of the Ganges and the Brahmaputra river is characterized by swamps and sundarbans, so people out there grow paddy and jute. See, if you look at the West Bengal region, this is a peninsular India, here is the Bay of Bengal. Here along the region of West Bengal, where there is a huge, where there are many rivers passing through, so jute is grown there, particularly in West Bengal. What is the reason behind that? It First of all, jute is a water guzzling crop, and apart from that, it requires high temperature and high humidity. High temperature and high humidity. Similar is the case with the paddy, friends. So now that was the eighth question. Let us move on to the ninth question. In India, markets in agricultural products are regulated under which act? So, Essential Commodities Act 1955, Agricultural Produce Market Committee enacted by the respective state governments, Agricultural Produce Marketing Act, Grading and Marking Act 1937, Food Products Order 1956, and Meat and Food Products. Take your time, think along the question. Friends, the right answer here is option B, that is the Agricultural Produce Market Committee Act enacted by the respective state government. So let us try to understand that. Let me give a brief history. See, after the post independence, that is in the year after 1947, the government decided that, see, farmers were in a very poor condition. In order to secure them and make sure that farmers are not cheated by people, the government decided that all the produce of the farmers, that whatever the farmers produce within their field, have to be sold within a particular market, that is known as agricultural produce market, that is APMC. And agricultural market in most part of the country are established and regulated under the state APMC Act. So respective state governments, agriculture is a state subject. Agriculture is a state subject, hence the respective state governments have come up with the state APMC Act, where it says that all the farmers have will necessarily have to sell their produce within that particular region, within the APMC mandis itself. They cannot sell outside. If they do so, that is a criminal act. So this was the government of the day during that time decided that this should be carried out in order to secure farmers. But over a period of time, we have come to realize that farmers are rather cheated within the APMC. So let us not get into that. Now coming to this particular question. The whole geographical area in the state is divided and declared as a market area, wherein the markets are managed by the APMC Act constituted by the respective state government. Once a particular area is declared as a market area and falls under the jurisdiction of market committee, no person or agency is allowed freely to carry on wholesale marketing activity. Suppose even if the Reliance Industries, if it wants fruits for its restaurants, it cannot directly go and ask the farmers to sell their produce to Reliance, but it has to go through the route of APMC only. It has to go to APMC, buy them, and farmers also have to go there and sell them. So this is a entire issue within the Indian agriculture. Let us not get into that. Now let us move on to the last question of the day, friends. The fair and the remunerative price of sugarcane is approved by. Focus on the keyword approved by. Approved by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, Directorate of Marketing and Inspection, Ministry of Agriculture, and Agricultural Produce Market Committee. Take your time and think upon the answer. The right answer here is, friend, option A, that is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. See, the Commission for Cost and Prices, Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices recommends the FRP. Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, it only recommends the FRP for the sugarcane based on intercrop price parity inflation. So it will take into consideration many factors and recommends the FRP that has to be given for sugarcane. It does the only job of recommendation, but the final approval for that particular FRP is given by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, which is very important, friends. And also let me know who heads the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs within the comment section below. So friends, that's all we have in this particular session. I hope you all enjoyed this particular set of questions which are very beneficial or important for the upcoming examination. For more such interesting videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Telegram channel, friends. Thank you.